Welcome back, everyone. It's Cody Hart for Government Accountability. It's January 29th, and I have a very significant update to provide everyone in lines with what I have been trying to keep everyone informed of, and that is my ongoing efforts to expose the failed and collapsing election system, the vote by mail system that is here in Washington State. And I am going to share a major finding today on some investigative efforts that have been submitted, through a federal process called HAVA, which I have spoken about before, and which will be putting the state on I believe, on the path to decertification of the election system in our state and the indictment of a number of officials. Now, this process is taking a long time, and I've been honest when I have told people of these efforts in the past, but this stuff is not easy. There are very few people that are willing to go all the way with this. I am one of them. There are others out there, but there's very few, so it's taken us longer than it should have to hold our government accountable and to bring back accountability in general across Washington State. Today's findings are significant, and as the title of this article says, it is the hacked voter signature database. It's the hacking of the entire system, the back door that is available, and that we now have evidence that there is no longer any ability for the state of Washington to conduct elections without a massive stopping and signature verification of every single voter that it has on its voter rolls. I am telling you now, the system, after I share with you what's in this video, you will understand why I say that. You will understand why I am going to be demanding that of Congress, and what you should be expressing to those out there who continue just to withhold the information. They're just withholding it. The fraud that's out there, the breaches of security are clear. And so I'm going to share some information today that you can share with everybody. So let's start with this article from Jesse Jones that you all are likely very familiar with. This gentleman, he is a consumer fraud expert, and he explains something that I want everyone to think about.
He had to say, identity theft can happen through a change of address fraud. Someone can't steal your identity with the change of address order. In order for someone to submit a forward on your behalf, they've already obtained your personal identifiable information and stolen your identity. So what does that say about the guy that's able to go up to the counter and get it without using their ID?
So this is something that I have brought up in the past. As you guys might recall, there is a video article that I posted about the largest security breach in Washington State history. And I go into depth about the 2019 data. And I then went into a lawsuit against the Secretary of State. And I have recently been sharing with people my findings. The judicial system in Washington State has been corrupted. We have to just acknowledge that as a citizenry. The law is clear, and yet the judicial system continues to fight back against those who bring any charges against government officials. So this is doing so is really the goal should be for everyone to expose and document what's going on, because they win if you don't fight back. So first, I want you to know that. Second, I do hope there's a good judge out there somewhere. I've yet to find any of them. A number of them are going to be disbarred and removed from office very soon, in my opinion, for what I am pursuing against them. And I suspect there'll be federal indictments, and a number of these judges are going to be in prison. But until that dam finally breaks, we are stuck here, the victims in this state of Washington. And so, as I mentioned, I went to the court over this. The state has continued to keep this information available on its website. As you can see here, the information is readily available and downloadable. And today I'm going to show you how the voter signature database and the entire voting system's computer system is being breached through backdoors that auditors and I believe the state have allowed to continue to happen. So let me take you through the laughable state online system, the voter portal at vowat.gov that you see right here. And I want to point this out to you guys. Um, First, it requires first name, last name, and date of birth. And I could enter mine. And actually, let's do so. Let's go ahead and just show you guys what you can do here. And I'm going to black out some of my information. And let's go to submit. And it gives information that I've covered up here. And it says, well, I want to update my name and or address. And so then you go through this process, and it tells you right here that you will need to fill in your voter identification, water state ID card. But what if this was all a facade? What if this was set up by the state of Washington? Because that's who controls this website, votewa.gov. Let's just say this whole thing was a facade and we wanted to do changes. How would somebody do it? Through a side door, something permitted, maybe something using information that's readily available. So first off, let's talk about the information that's on this screen here. Let's just make sure I remind everyone that all of the information available for date of birth for every single person who voted in 2019, it's millions of people, is available on the Secretariat's website. And I'm going to use King County specifically. What we have here is an Excel file that you can download for everyone in King County that gives their full name, full date of birth, and address. And I pointed this out before. It's significant to talk about full date of birth. So personal information, according to 42.56.590 of the RCW, when you go into this, it will explain to you for this law and for security breaches under item 10 here, it tells everybody, hey, for the purpose of this section, personal information means, and it says an individual's first name or first initial and last name in combination with any one or more of the following data elements. Okay, and that includes full date of birth. And I have gone over in the past that, hey, this information is here. The state, even though I've gone to the state court and the state refuses to take this information down. They refuse to because they want to make sure it's available because they are conspirators and collaborators with people who in this 2022 election and everyone they can help in every election can commit crimes and fraud against us, we the people of the state of Washington. So with that full date of birth, again, you go back into this state database, and I can fill it out for everybody. And so you saw where I can get that from. All right. But there's something else going on here, and that's in the election results every single year that I wanted to share with everyone. That's a big part of this article and this investigative effort. And that on the state's current election results every single election. And what's fascinating about it is if, again, I'm going to pick King County, you can download a file with the current election results. And you see here, this is the 2022 election results for this November election. And I've went ahead and formatted this. The information is all available. And everyone knows this here, but you'll see in the current elections, there is no full date of birth. So they know they shouldn't be doing that, yet they continue to do it. But what have I done here is I've categorized things, and I've shortened the list down of all the King counties to just those whose signature do not match. That's important to understand. And out of that, in King County, there are over 10,000. There are over 10,000 of these that signature did not match. And I can go through this list. I mean, it's a massive list. Well, what is so important about that? Why am I talking to you today about that? Is that once that happens, there is a opportunity that fraud has been presented to go in and change the voter registration information of the voter with all the information I've already shared with you. No other information. And that is the voter's name, first and last, and their date of birth. And so let's go through and let me show you an example of that now. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and for the sake of this, I'm going to pick somebody randomly here. And I say randomly, but somebody from this list. And I am going to show you how anyone and how I did it and how anyone can change in King County 10,000 people. And statewide, just for this 2022 election, I found over 50,000 instances of what I'm about to show you guys. And in the 2019 election, information for millions of people in this state was provided. So I want everyone to understand how dramatic this is, and that this has been going on since 2019. So at the very top of this list, you'll see the names, and I have transferred the names of this list of signatures do not match into a new list that I want all of you to see. And this is the 2019 list, and I've condensed that and sorted it and created a list now with people. And this list generally can have 7,000 people in it right now for this 2022 election. And it's approximately there that I have identified have signatures that do not match and are on the 2019 data. And when I go into this, and let's pick out Caitlin Reed. Okay, Caitlin Reed. So I'm not putting her name in here. This is a Caitlin that lives in Kent. I'm not going to show her address or any other personal information. But what I am going to show is if I put her name in here now, I'm blocking out her date of birth again. I'm not trying to pick on anybody. I'm just showing someone an example of this. So everyone an example. I also want to point out there is no oath verification. There's no other thing occurring here. It doesn't matter at this point if there is. So if I submit that now, you'll see, okay, so I have the right information for someone who's not me. And I'm blocking out her address and other personal information. But without going to this update my address, name and address, you'll see there is a notice here. And this is something my jaw dropped when I figured out what was going on here. So this notice is because of that list I showed everybody for the 2022 ballots. Again, 2022, everyone without a signature match, everyone who's had a ballot challenge for their signature got a notification, and many, if not all, have not responded to it. And what is this notification? Well, that notification provides forms that can be sent back into the election office. Now, I've opened up this signature doesn't match form, and it is just, this is, to me, it's absurd. So again, without any other information than what's already available out there, you can access this form. And on this form, they say, well, please sign this 3 times, and this will become the signature. It needs to match. Now, worse yet, and this is one that I went all the way through the example as far as I could legally. Signature update request. What is this? This is King County's version of, hey, we're asking you to send in an updated signature verification. And when you do, you can email it in, and you can mail it in or drop it off in person. And all of this can happen. The voter database can be changed for this person through this online portal, printing this form and sending it back in. And I just can't, there's nothing here to verify. Now, if all of this wasn't bad enough, what I've shown you that can go on through votewa.gov, the individual election offices, in the past I've confronted with this, but just this previous week, I did confirm with them in this phone recording with the King County Election Office, their position on changing voter information and what is needed and how serious they take this matter to change your addresses and to send where they send ballots and the voter election database and the information in it, how secure it really is. So why don't you listen in on this conversation?
you've called the correct phone number to reach just the general helpline. But I work in voter services. Election services deals more with the level of information that you're looking for.
Okay.
Voter services, we're trained on like updating people's registrations, changing addresses on records, things like that. So
Okay.
I'm just not trained on what you're looking for.
No, that's fine. Can I, before you transfer me, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you able to, over the phone, change the mailing address of where I receive a ballot?
Yes.
And do you need any information other than my name and date of birth to do that?
No.
Okay.
I just need to verify your name and date of birth.
Okay, that's all I needed to know. Yeah, would you transfer me, please? Once again, the personal information from the state has already been illegally dispersed, is currently being dispersed, and is all that's required to access the system. So to go through and see how flawed this was, I went through and I actually went through and filled out one that was sent to my own online votewa.gov. And in it, I changed the mailing address and my signature, and I was never asked to verify through any kind of identification who I was. And then I got this back, and this just scares the hell out of me. So I could do this for Caitlin. I could do this for anyone out there. I can change, if you've not voted or if you're not paying attention, I can change your mailing address, not your physical. I suspect I can change the physical address actually, but I can change where everything for you is being sent. And the way I would do this if I was being insidious is I would change the mailing address of people who have not voted and who have been sent the signature update request form. And I would have it sent to a P.O. box or somewhere else. And I would say, this person's not going to vote. I can tell already this person is out of the state. This person doesn't care about elections. I'm going to go and get this and have it mailed. And I'm going to change her signature verification. I'm going to get a new voter signature, registered voter card, and they're going to mail it to me. And even if that person says, hey, I didn't get my ballot, they're going to go in and maybe they'll get a replacement. It doesn't matter because I will have the new signature. No matter what they do, I can always outvote them now because my signature is the new signature on record. And you had better bet this has been happening with how open this is. And I will guarantee you there is not a signature in our state database that we can trust at this point. And the state knows it. Don't think that the state's going to say, oh my goodness, oh, I never knew this. No, they've been the ones allowing this. So again, my apologies for getting mad and ranting on this. I hope this was insightful. Please contact everyone you can to share what you can on this and let them know the voting system in Washington State is illegitimate. It cannot be trusted. The voter databases have been jeopardized. And moving forward, we just cannot allow Washington State to be considered a fair election system. Thank you very much.